Hey everybody, so I'm back with the promised tutorial of how to make your own mini book with a charm. I picked up this book kit from my recent trip to Hong Kong, and there's another video where I put it together, and I loved it so much that I thought that I would kind of deconstruct it for you so that you could grab whatever is in your stash and try to make one of your own. So I've just been sitting down here doing just that with some of my own things. So I've got that one done. This one's all completed with charm and everything. I've got another one here. I really love these. This is a great little project for gifts or for your happy mail or even for yourself. So here are some more books. So I have been experimenting with different types of paper to use, different types of binding to use, and I just want to give you a whole variety so that you don't have to rush out to buy exactly what was in the kit. You can really just modify with what you've got at home. So these are the books that I made. This one still doesn't have its closure, that's why it's opening. What I did do was I used a combination of either pretty pattern paper, or I went ahead and I looked for some artwork online and I printed out the ones that I loved. I'm currently going through a Van Gogh stage, so I have printed out some Van Gogh artwork. This is not Van Gogh, this is somebody else's, like Van Gogh style with a unicorn. That's funny. But I thought it was really pretty. I actually do want to try making one of these myself, but that's another subject. I think what's really amazing about this little book is the artwork. So for example, here I just used some paper from this Couture Creations pack. So it's a sea theme, and I used just normal canvas, linen canvas here, and so it's really pretty, but it's not like arty like this. This is glossy, and I think that adding the gloss and having the actual artwork makes it like an art book, if you know what I mean. But this is also gorgeous. Like, I attached it to a charm that has dolphins, and it's got a sea theme, so you know, do with it what you want. It's there as just a starting point, and then you can take it wherever you want to go. I also experimented using Hessian here. I think this is a really good texture and a fiber to use as a spine. I also used ribbon here. If you'll remember, the original book used leather, but this is like a really thin leather. Like this is 1mm leather, which I don't have. It's got to be really thin, like almost as thin as suede. So I had to come up with an alternative, and yeah, so I'm going to bring you a whole lot of alternatives to what was in the original kit. So let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. The first thing you're going to need is some chipboard. So I buy my chipboard in 12 by 12. You're going to need to cut down your chipboard to 1 inch wide by 1 1/4 high. I've got a whole heap of them here on the side. Now, if you don't have chipboard, go ahead and use just packaging, like this is some kind of box. Otherwise, if you don't have packaging, go ahead and use your cornflakes cereal box material, but what you'll do need is about 3 or 4 stuck together to give you that nice thick cover that you need. So step 1 is chipboard. Number 2, you're going to need pattern paper. So I suggest that you go for 6 inch by 6 inch paper. This just means that your design is small enough so that you've got that entire artwork showing nicely. And you can go for any theme that you like. I've got an ocean theme here. This is a beautiful stargazer. This is gorgeous. I love this. You can almost get that on the cover. I've got some Amy Tangerine here. This is like a really fun one if you want to use like a fun party theme, and I thought this was really pretty here. You can just make some books, just be cool, fearless, a whole lot of books, mini books for your friends. I've also got this one here, which is this Prima 6x6 collection, and this is gorgeous. The print on here is nice and small, so I love this one as well. The world is your oyster, really. But like I said, the charm for me was actually using artwork, and so I'm going to go ahead and make one of these. Your pattern paper, and you're going to need two, one for the front and one for the back, needs to be 2 inches wide by 2 1/4 high. So I'm going to go ahead, I've got some more here. These are Vermeer paintings. This is Raphael's Angels and the very famous Mona Lisa. I'm going to put these aside for now because I've also made a larger book for these larger paintings. I sort of really wanted a Mona Lisa book, and she's too small here. So I'm just going to go for this size. I'm going to show you how to make this size, and I'm going to give you dimensions and show you how I make these a little later on. So step 2 is to go ahead and cut your pattern paper, and I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so once you've got your covers cut and your pattern paper cut, let's go ahead and put those together. So you're going to need to add double-sided tape here. And I've applied the double-sided tape to both sides. So flip over your artwork and then just place it pretty much in the middle, nice and straight. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to add some glue just here on these flaps. Oh my gosh, I love this. So I love this artwork. This artwork is the also by Van Gogh, the Blossoming Almond Tree. It's so gorgeous. So now let's repeat that for the other cover. There we go, that's both covers. Now, one thing that I will do that I haven't done in any of these is I'm going to add some varnish. Now, I love that shine on the original book here, and I do want that on these covers. So I am just going to add just a tiny little bit of varnish, and that's all it needs to make it look really like glossy almost. Well, it's not glossy because I'm using a matte, but it's pretty. I love that. So I am going to put that off to dry while I assemble the next one. Alrighty, so once your covers are done, the next thing we have to do is think of the spine. Now, the original book here has like leather, or it could be suede, but it's a really thin. It says it's a leather binding, so it must be a really like smaller than 1 millimeter leather. The leather that I have is 2.5 millimeter, and it's just so thick, like it's not going to work very well. So I had to think of an alternative, and I've come up with, you could do whatever you want really. I've got ribbon here, so this is wide ribbon. It needs to be 1 inch by 2 3/4. So I've got that one, I've got this one, which is just canvas. I've got this one, which is just hessian, and you can even go for textured papers. You know what I mean by that, you know, the mulberry paper or that fibrous, beautiful paper, handmade paper. I think that would look really beautiful on the spine. So for now, I'm just going to choose one of these, and I kind of really like the canvas. That looks really amazing too. So whatever you choose, you're not going to go wrong. I'll choose this one for this one. I might I really like the canvas because it brings out the cherry blossom, so I might choose the canvas for this one. So what you're going to need to do, so 1 inch across by 2 3/4 high, and I'm going to add this double-sided tape. So 1 inch makes it 4 of these quarter strips. This is how sort of I figured it out. Alrighty, so this is how much excess I have. So I'm just going to cut off the excess here. What I want you to do is pull off just one of the strips. So you're bringing in, so you're going to have, that's the front and that's the back, and you're going to flip it, right? So pretty much in the center, and then just add that like that, so the inside is facing up. Remove the other strip, so 1/4 inch in, and this is where you need to make sure that you've got them at the same level. So I'm just going to put my ruler there and then put the other cover on that strip there. Perfect. Now remove these 2 strips, 1, 2, so you've got 1/4 inch spine. And the reason why I'm doing this is because this is what the original the mini kit asked you to do. It asked for an 11mm gap. So yeah, that's an 11mm gap. Now if you feel like that's too much of a gap for you, go ahead and change that. You know, it's nice. I like it. You might think that there's way too much spine here and it's covering some of the artwork. I think I felt like that too. So what I might do is I'll just leave this one at, yeah, I've already stuck it down, so I'll leave this one at that gap, but we'll change it on the next one. So let's go ahead and close that up. Let's go ahead and close that up. And that is your little book, almost ready to go. I'm going to repeat it for this one here. Okay, and this time, because this is Hessian, I'm also going to add some PVA glue. And I am going to just come off a little bit, not too much. I'm just going to give that a trim. So take off maybe another 1/4. I shouldn't be cutting it with my nice scissors. And just a little bit there, and I'm eyeballing this. And then I'm going to add some more PVA glue here. And I'm going to fold it up. Once you've got your spine onto the cover, it's now time for pages. Now, your pages, I'm going to be using coffee stained normal copier paper. You can use just the plain color. And I've got some strips here that I've cut down. These need to be 1 inch wide by 9.5 inches. It could be as long as you like, really, as it's a huge spine here, so you can accommodate. But I'm going to go for the so you're going to have it so that you have three mountains like this. All right, so and this is just something that you're just going to have to kind of judge by eye. So the easiest way I found was to just get one of these original ones without all the bulk, and just kind of pretty much eyeball it in the center, and then score and crease, and then fold it back on itself like this, and just keep coming valleys and mountains accordion style until you finish that entire strip. Alrighty, so depending on how you fold it, you will have 3 or 4 valleys. No worries. So then it's going to go on like that, 1, 2, 3, and I think I'm going to cut out this extra bit here. Some PVA glue here just to be quick. Sticks on, and then some PVA glue here, and then stick that on. And there you go. That's the pages done. So cute. I love this. I'm really in love with this project at the moment. So cute. So I managed to get 4 mountains out of that one. Perfect. Alrighty, so from here what we're going to have to do is talk about the closure. Now you're going to need, the original one used very thin elastic, 1mm elastic. Now I don't have 1mm elastic, I just ended up using my hat elastic, which I think is like 2. You're going to need it to be 4 3/4 long. 4 3/4 long. And the next thing you're going to need is something to poke it with. I would not recommend a hole punch, that's just too large. I have been using my Tim Holtz Pokey tool, and it does the job well. So just come in, pretty much find the middle, and then come in about 1/4 inch. This is, now you're not being too specific. This is just eyeballing everything. So let's go ahead and put your elastic through. Now this might be the problem with using a thicker elastic, is that you're just going to have to really poke it in and then create a knot here. So pull out as much as you can just to make it easier for you to make that knot, and then just pull this knot out to pretty much the very end so that you can use as much of that elastic as you can. So when you're happy with that, just tighten it really hard. Perfect. And then I'm going to cut off just that extra bit there. It is going to be a little bit bulky, but it's not really a book that you're going to draw in and write stories in, or maybe you will, I'm not sure, but it's not too bad. That's what I'm trying to say. So then your only thing here is to just make sure that you kind of get it in the same area. So pull your elastic in a straight line as much as you can, and let's go ahead and repeat a second hole on the other side. I'm going to say that that is about right there. Again, don't stress over these things. It's supposed to be a quick project that just keeps going along. Don't make this stop you in your tracks. Okay, so let's one more time put the other end through. So this is what your little book looks like. So you've got this little bit of elastic, which you can now loop over and shut the book. Gorgeous. I really love this blossoming almond design with that canvas. I think that's just really pretty.